Alright fans of Friends TV, this particular video I'll be giving you guys updates relating to subsidiary protection. There are many people who have this kind of document, 5 years document known as subsidiary protection, who don't know the meaning or who don't know the function or the rights which you have with this kind of permit. Now Prince TV have come here to now give a structural update about subsidiary protection. So if you live across Italy and then you have this kind of permit, and those people who don't have it yet, maybe that is what your judge will be giving you in the next month, anytime or any moment from now. Now listen to this video so that you will know the function, your rights, structural updates about subsidiary protection. In this week we are heading to, I'll be giving, functions and then meaning of types of documents which we have here in Italy, because there are many people who have different types of documents, not knowing their rights and then what they can do with this kind of document. Now, today, we are going to be talking about the one of subsidiary protection, what you have to know about this document. But first, if you know you have not subscribed to my platform, or you have not a kind of like one day give me a thumbs up, with a due respect, try to give me a thumbs up on this particular video and share it out to others. Now listen attentively. Now listen, he said here, for subsidiary protection holders, permesso per protezione sussidiaria. Now listen well. He said, what is this permesso for? This is a question mark. He said, you are entitled to subsidiary protection and the permesso di soggiorno per protezione sussidiaria if you did not fulfill all the requirements for refugee status but still face a real risk of suffering serious harm if you return to your country of origin. So according to the law, or according to the the structural law of this subsidiary protection, it is for people who did not qualify for refugee status, because as somebody who crossed that Mediterranean Sea, the normal document which you're supposed to be having is a refugee status, which is known as asilo politico. But if you are not qualified to have this refugee status, then the Italian government might switch on giving what they call subsidiary protection. That is the substitute of refugee status here in Italy. It is also a 5 years document. He said, serious harm means the risk of death penalty or execution, torture or inhumane or degrading treatment or punishment. He said another one again, serious and individual threats to your life by reason of indiscriminate violence in situation of international or internal armed conflict. So these are most of the ground which they will not check if they don't believe on your story, and then they will still use this grant to not give you the substitute which is called subsidiary protection. So that is it. Listen attentively. He said here, how long is it valid for? Now, many of you already know that it is a document for 5 years. So those people who will be arriving in Italy, subsidiary protection, it is valid for 5 years. He said, this kind of permesso is valid for 5 years and can be renewed. So that is it. Then he said, how long will it take to get it? All of you know the story that, it depends on your case, depends on how lucky you are, that demands how you get this kind of permit. But let's listen, according to the structural law, how long it's supposed to take before you get this kind of permit. Italian government guidelines suggest it should take no longer than 1 year between the time you go for your commission interview and the time you get your permesso per protezione sussidiaria. So according to the structural based law here in Italy, it shouldn't take more than 1 year for one to have this kind of permit. But the situation, it is not what they are working with, because the rate of asylum seekers in Italy is too much. Sometimes they will exceed all this time, which you guys know the story already. Unfortunately, most of the time, you may need to wait up to or even over 2 years. So everybody know how that one take this way. It depends on the story and then the judge, all those kind of stuff. So that is just it. Now listen attentively here. He said, how can I renew this kind of permesso? This is a structural law, how it's supposed to be. That is what I'm reading to you guys. He said here, to renew your permesso per protezione sussidiaria, you will need to make an appointment at the questura. When it reviews your renewal request, the questura may ask the Territorial Commission whether the situation in your country of origin has changed or whether you would still be in danger if you return. So now, have it in mind that the subsidiary protection, in most cases, when you go to renew it, they will still try to ask the Territorial Commission if the ground, the reason why they give you that document is still existing. So have it in mind that they give you that document to be watching you, not that they have fully accepted you as a refugee status holder. So that is one point you have to now know about subsidiary protection. Let's go a little bit forward. He said, check whether you have been convicted of any crime since receiving subsidiary protection. So if you have to renew this document, they will also check on the country if you have committed any crime here in Italy. So all these things are what they put into consideration on renewing your protection subsidiary. He said, examine whether you have traveled back to your country of origin since receiving subsidiary protection. So this is where it is very important. As a subsidiary protection holder, you don't have the right to travel back to your own country of origin. You have to make a transition. So that is just it. Now listen to this part here. He said, can the questura find out whether I travel to my country of origin? This is a question. Now many people will be asking, how will the questura know that I have traveled back to my own country of origin? Listen to what they have stated. He said, when you go to renew your permesso, the questura will ask you to show your national passport or your travel document. So either you show your national passport, your own passport, or showing your titolo di viaggio. If they see any stamp there, that is how they will now know that you have traveled back to your country of origin. And listen, he said, if the questura sees a stamp from your home country, it will ask the National Commission for the Right of Asylum, CDNA, to advise on the renewal of your permesso. So that is where it comes, where the CDNA will now come into your case to consider if they have to renew that kind of permit for you again. Since you are able to go to your country, coming back without any problem, CDNA will now authorize the questura before they renew that kind of permit. So if you have subsidiary protection, it is not good for you to travel back direct to your own country of origin. Now let's go a little bit forward. He said here, the CDNA coordinates and guides the Territorial Commission on carrying out its tasks and is responsible for revoking international protection. So now this CDNA department, there are people who are in charge of revoking international protection, even that of the asilo politico. I'll be talking about that in my next video. So that is it. Now let's go. He said here, the CDNA will consider each trip back to your country and determine whether the reason you travel were important or urgent. He said, it may seem your trip as proof that the danger of serious harm, which is the reason you receive subsidiary protection, no longer exists. So now let me explain this point. If, for example, unfortunately or by mistake, you travel back to your own country of origin, and then now going to read that protection, they discover that there is a stamp already coming from your country. Now, they will ask the CDNA to now watch your case. He said, if you are planning to travel back to your home country, make sure you first get in touch with a lawyer who can advise you on your situation. He said, a lawyer can also help you determine whether your reason for traveling would be considered important by the CDNA, who decide on a case. So that is it. So guys, you have to listen attentively that, with subsidiary protection, you cannot go back to your country of origin. Now let's see the rights which you have with this kind of permit. In conclusion, now let's see the rights which you have with this kind of permit as a holder of subsidiary protection. Now let's see the rights which you have. He said here, what right do I have as a holder of this permit? Listen attentively. He said, with subsidiary protection, you have the right to stay in a spa center. Your rights to reception include material reception, meaning food, medical attention, and hygienic products. So that is one of the rights which you have. He said another one, work in Italy but not in any other European countries. So you have the right to work here in Italy but not in any other European country. So that is what they have stated already. Then another one again they state here is access the Italian healthcare system, SSN. So with Subsidiary protection, you can go to the hospital, you can go for checkup, anything you have to do based on health. Then we have another right, access the Italian public education. You can go to school with this kind of permit. Ask to bring your family to Italy through family reunification. So if you have Subsidiary protection, you can use through the help of family reunification to bring your immediate ones here in Italy. So that is one of its function. Another one again is register with the registry office of your local commune, which give you right to get a carta di identità. So if you have your protezione solidaria, you can get the resident, which is the carta di identità. He said apply for Italian citizenship after 10 years of holding this permesso. So if you have 5 years document of protezione solidaria after 10 years of residing here in Italy, you can apply for your citizenship. And then most people will be thinking that, the 10 years, it is when they give you that document. No, it is when you have your normal resident from your commune, and that is when it starts reading for the 10 years. So that is just a point. Then a travel document called a titolo di viaggio, which you can get if you cannot get a passport from your home country. It's a good idea to check with a lawyer before applying for a titolo di viaggio. Now let me explain this point. There are many people, sometimes if they give you this 5 years protezione solidaria, they don't add that titolo di viaggio, but in most cases it always comes with it. Now, as a Subsidiary protection holder, which you don't have the right to go back to your country of origin, you're supposed not to be having your passport. So in most cases, people apply for the titolo di viaggio. So that is what he's trying to explain on this point. Now the last one we have to take here is applying for the permesso EU per soggiornanti di lungo periodo to work or study in other European country after 5 years of living in Italy, and if you meet the certain condition. So that is what we know as a carta soggiorno. After 5 years of holding the Subsidiary protection, you have the right to apply for carta soggiorno, which will allow you to work in other European countries. So that is a little bit update which you have to know about protezione solidaria. If you have any question based on this topic or this video, or try to keep it on the comment section, we try our best to give you answer. Any types of document you are holding, you want to know the function, what you can do with this type of document, also keep it at the comment section. We have to be taking notes on the types of documents which we have here in Italy, explaining to you guys. And make sure you share out this video. People watching on Facebook, make una share the video reach others. Don't be stingy. The next time again we'll be together, and give me the thumbs up. I remain your host here on this platform, Prince TV.